Now, the first thing to discuss about 9/11 is the fact that this event is quite possibly the greatest mind control event in human history. Certain aspects of it are so stark, so profound, that within this historic event can be seen a tremendous gift. But firstly, let me acknowledge the obvious. While my birth nation of America has meted out more violence in the 20th and 21st century than any other entity, it does not change the fact that the events of 9/11 are a great tragedy, not only for what happened on the day, but also for the far, far greater suffering and death that has resulted from it. Having said that, the gift lies in 9/11 serving as a litmus test for humanity. Indeed, I will make the case that we have reached a flashpoint in human history that will decide the fate of all life on planet Earth, because in the nuclear age, we simply cannot sustain the collective insanity of our current path. We have come this close to nuclear annihilation many times over, and facing the truth about 9/11 can be the beginning of the end of that insanity. The good news is that poll after poll makes very clear that more and more people do not trust the official account of 9/11. Around the world, it is safe to say that the majority of people do not accept the official version of the event. In America itself, roughly half doubt or disbelieve the official version altogether. And herein lies the heart of the gift. Despite all of the mass media deception, people are seeing straight through the lies and regaining the capacity to think and process information intelligently. This is absolutely critical in the process of liberating humanity from the bondage and ignorance and division. I have often used a metaphor to describe the current state of human existence, and it goes like this. Human society has created and ultimately consented to the institutions of power that oppress us, to such a degree that we the people have constructed a massive prison that every man, woman, and child, for the most part, have voluntarily entered. We have then closed the prison door behind us, taken the key within our collective hands and locked the prison door. As if this wasn't bad enough, incredibly, we have then handed the key to the prison door to a group of psychopathic tyrants who have all too wisely remained outside of the prison. Subsequently, we continue to beg these tyrants for the crumbs while we continue to remain locked in a prison of our own making. Now, the prison is a metaphor for our current financial system, a financial system utilized by the tyrants to control virtually every aspect of human existence. And yet, and please listen to what I am saying here, the tyrants are powerless without our consent. And while we have collectively entered this prison, we can tear down the prison walls of financial enslavement in an instant. No matter what our religion, non-religion, what color we are, what country we come from, what group we relate to, or what philosophy we subscribe to, we, the masses, have the same cause. We want the same things. We want to live a dignified life. We want a just and peaceful world. The powers that be know this very well, and that is why they must continuously divide us and rule us. The key to the maintenance of their tyranny is hoodwinking us into fighting each other for the crumbs from their lavish tables. And believe me, the powers that be revel in the madness that is our division and ultimately self-imposed enslavement. They are laughing at us. They mock us. But it doesn't have to be this way. Do you want a better world, a sane, just, and peaceful world? Well, so do I. In fact, I demand such a world because I refuse to accept the unacceptable. And while I hold the tyrants responsible for ungodly amounts of suffering and injustice and death, I cannot ignore the fact that they could not possibly have achieved this without the massive compliance from the masses, from us. Which brings us back to an uncomfortable truth, which is that we are guilty to one degree or another. I want to issue a huge apology to a group to which I am not a member. Because as I will lay out very clearly, if there is one group that cannot be held responsible for the 9/11 event, it is the very group blamed for this crime. And that would be the Muslims around the world. So let me say with resounding clarity on behalf of all sane, thinking people, we are deeply sorry that Muslims have been falsely accused of the events of 9/11 and that subsequently countless Muslim lands and people have endured the farcical war on terror. We apologize for the invasions, occupations, drone strikes, torture, Guantanamo, for all of the maiming and the death that has rained down on you. Let it be understood from this day forward, from this non-Muslim, that we know the 9/11 false flag was intentionally, falsely blamed on you so as to cultivate a clash of civilizations. We reject the war on terror in total and shall identify those responsible come hell or high water. When we return, we shall discuss the absurdity of the official version of 9/11 and, more importantly, whose fingerprints are left all over this event.